like, what about motivation? So how do you stay motivated and, like, on top of your health? Because you've been on this health journey for a long time now.
Oh, man.
So how are you constantly, like, keeping yourself on top of it? And do you ever have days where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore?
Is this a question as, like, related to food or as Bradley Martyn, like, asking me, like...
Like, for you.
How do I stay motivated? Yeah, that's actually, man, that's a really good question for me. So, man, I've gone through so many phases of, like, what really motivates me as far as, like, staying on top of it. But I've gotten to the point, I think, physically, like, workout-wise, where it's something that's such a big part of my life, and it kind of has been for so long that, like, it would feel really weird if I didn't do certain things.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I don't feel like, oh, I need to do these things to have this. It's just I really enjoy it. So part of my motivation is, like, number one, I really enjoy doing this. And I really enjoy, like, being a part of this community, this industry. And then secondly, over the years, because I've been a trainer since I was, like, 17 at, like, a private facility. And then I'm 29 now. And I've trained since I was, like, 15. So damn, that's a lot of years. I'm getting fucking old. And sorry, this is like a realization moment. And I've just gotten to the point where I really enjoy it. But the thing that really pushes me and motivates me to, like, keep going is really people. Yeah. It's like the response that I get are like, you know, thanks for this video you did, or thanks for this information you've given me. Like, oh, I changed my life. And that was the thing that I'll hear the most of. And I'll hear like even really, really drastic stories past that where people are like, oh, I was going to end my life. And then I saw this video. So, like, seeing things like that has just made me more like, okay, cool. Within this industry, I could really help people.
Yeah.
And I want to do more of that because I've had moments, I mean, complete times in my life where I've had nothing, like no money, no things that you think everyone wants. And then I have things where now where it's like, you think it's something everyone wants. And then you realize, like, did that make me happier having that now? Was I happier then? And then you realize, like, the stuff that really starts to motivate you is more like internal things instead of external. So, like, internal where if, like, you were like, hey, I really appreciate that advice you gave me, whether it be about a diet or it be about a relationship or something, like, that helped me be a better person.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I really got attached to, and the thing that really pushes me forward to, like, always try to get better. And then I had a low moment at the beginning of last year, and the thing that kept me going was I'd get messages from people who'd be like, hey, I know, like, you're kind of going through these things, but like, you know, I really appreciate what you did for me, and they'll send me, like, their stories, and it's really just an emotional thing that's like, man, I want to give more of that. Yeah. Because I know what it feels like to want to have more of that in my life. So when I give it, it's like almost like it's like I'm giving back to myself, and to everyone else out there. Like, people are like, oh, you helped me out, but, like, they're also helping me out. Mm-hmm. They're sharing their stories with me, so it's like this cycle, and I just been addicted to that.
Yeah, it's like really powerful when you share your story and you start, like, connecting to people. You have no idea what you're doing for other people just from, like, sharing your own personal experience.
And that's one of the biggest things I think, even just on the internet nowadays. Because there's so much negative stuff, but not enough of, like, everything else. Like, not enough of, like, the moments past it or the moments through it. And I think, especially in this industry, because it's a very, like, ego, how I look, what I do, like, how I can perform, because it's like an outside thing, because it's fitness, right? You see it. You see someone's body, or you see, like, their performance, and it's external. But it's I think it's really cool for people to see the inside, like, someone sharing their vulnerabilities about, like, the things they've been through in their life, or the moments they've been, like, I'm talking about how, like, when I was 18, my fucking dick didn't work, like, and, like, I'm not saying everyone can relate to that, but someone out there might be like, oh shit, I felt that, or I know I've been there, or I lost my father when I was young, so they'd be like, I know what that feels like to lose a parent, and then they'll be like, but I still see someone being successful in what I'm really passionate about. Then they're like, oh, if he can do it, I can do it. And that's really all this is like showing people through my own experience, just sharing it. And I think more people should just share it. But it is hard sometimes to be vulnerable because it's like I said, industry, it's very like, oh, I'm the strong, tough guy. It's like, you know, the alpha male guy, oh, you can't be vulnerable. But I think when you are, then people really like, they become more like, oh, that's a real person. That person's like me.
Yeah.
They cry like me, or because like everyone goes through shit, period. And that is what it is. And I don't know. I think people are afraid to sometimes show the sad sides or the bad sides, and they're just, oh, look at all my good stuff. But then you become disconnected from all the other people who are like, well, I don't have everything great. So showing that, like, what I've actually been through in my life has been the biggest thing that has now come back in return to start to motivate me, because I hear the stories from it motivating others, and then I'm like, oh man, I want more of that, because I already have all this stuff, and it's like, it's cool, but I want more of that.
Yeah.
That's 100%. That's why I continue to do any of this stuff. Otherwise, I'd be like, it's just, at one point, it's just this, and then, yeah, because ultimately, like, we're all going to pass, so what are you doing with your time here? Is it just to try and make some money? Because it's like, I don't know, I always think, like, when you die someday, it's like, you're going to be like, man, I wish I made more money. You're going to be like, no, I wish I had more conversations, or I wish I talked to more people, or I wish I shared more love with someone, or I wish I told my dad I love him, my mom I love him, or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are you're never going to be like, damn, I should have made an extra $1 million. Like, that is never going to be the last thought in your mind. So it's like, if the last thought in your mind is going to be like, I wish I loved harder, or I wish I shared more, then that should be the thing that pushes you every day to do that.
Yeah. Because
money it's a fucking piece of paper that we just assign value to. It doesn't mean anything. It just means what we make it mean.
Yeah.
But everything else is like a feeling with a person. That's what's powerful. So, yeah. Sorry, go fucking rant. Sorry.
I love that answer. So what, like, along the same lines, though, what would you say to somebody that maybe needs to find motivation?
Someone needs to find motivation. I would say it depends what you need to be motivated for. And I would find someone who is doing the thing that you want to be motivated to be able to do. Because a lot of times, like, you may, and this is one of the biggest issues with people's motivation, is like, let's say just theoretically, like, you're obviously much, much younger than this, but if you were my mom and I was like your son and I was a lot younger, because you're obviously much younger than this.
I am very young. Very young.
So, but in a sense, like, but you got a husband and all that, so I'm just going to, like, you and your husband, let's say, had me as a kid, and then I was like, Mom, I want to go do, like, this, and then you're like, that shit's stupid, you should try this, because and it's like, that happens so much because people's like, and I'm not saying you're that person at all.
Right.
But I'm just giving them an example. Like, someone's parent might be like, don't do that, it's a bad idea, you should do this. But they're basing all that off of everything they've experienced in their life, and they're saying, like, this is what you need to do, because, like, that's what I know about. But, like, the world is just so different. So, I guess, I get so on a tangent, I apologize. For people to stay motivated, like, look not at the people who are saying you can't do something, or like you should do this, or I think you should do that. You really have to listen to yourself. And it sounds so like, duh, that's what I'm doing, but people don't do it. People listen to everyone else, and they, especially like their parents or like people close to them. And oftentimes, like, those people, if they're not motivated to do what you want to do, it doesn't mean what you want to do is not right. But you also need to be able to, like, disconnect from that. Because, like, at some point in your life, whether you realize it now or later, like, you'll realize that that's a fucking fact. Like, you need to be able to, like, make your own decisions, make your own losses, like, learn from your own mistakes. Because someone else is going to only tell you based on their own mistakes and their own decisions that they made, but it could be a whole different lifetime. Like, your parents grew up in a whole different generation, a whole different style of, like, everything. And it's like, if you're not making your own decisions, you're making your own losses at the same time, like, you're not going to grow towards where you want to go. So what I say, look for someone who's doing what you want to be doing, maybe at what level you want to be doing that, and, like, see what that person does, or get advice from that person. That's how I was, if I wanted to, like, be motivated. And that's what I did as I was growing up. I would, like, look for people who I thought were doing what I wanted to do, and I'd just try and talk to them. So, yeah.
All right.
I get all deep, I'm sorry.
Any other questions?
Yeah. I can answer those questions all day long with no edits. Yeah.
This has been, no.
C does not have protein.